U.S. civil rights leader JesseJackson, an eloquent Baptist minister raised in the segregated South in the United States, who became a close associate of Martin Luther King Jr. and twice ran for the Democratic presidential nomination, has passed away at the age of 84. Now, this is according to his family. They said, I quote, "Our father was a servant leader, not only to our family, but to the oppressed, the voiceless, and the overlooked around the world." SABC News specialist correspondent Sophie Mokoena joins us live in studio to talk about the man, his legacy, and exactly what he stood for. A very good afternoon to you, Sophie. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. A leading voice indeed of Black American aspirations, actually of Black aspirations across the world, has passed away today. Was certainly a dark day. Just talk us through his legacy.
Well, you would recall that he was a civil rights activist, as you pointed out, marching alongside Martin Luther King Jr. during the time of challenges facing the Black Americans or African Americans, and they were constantly the voice of reason in terms of fighting for the rights of those who were aggrieved in the United States of America. And he was also a shadow member of a Senate in the United States of America early days. He also became a congressman for the Democratic Party. As you pointed out, he was a member of the Democratic Party in the United States of America, ran for nominations for the presidential position within the party, but couldn't make it. And therefore, he really stood firm in terms of fighting for the rights of those who were oppressed. In recent times, where we saw the challenge of Black lives in America with a movement, Black Lives Matter, he was always supporting the movement, a close friend to Bernie in the United States of America on issues that are related to those who are struggling, like your workers in the United States of America, but also a very important player in terms of the voice of reason on issues that are related to injustice around the world.
Speaking of that, because I prefaced our conversation now by stating that, in fact, he was a voice of Black aspirations across the world. Let's talk about his relationship with South Africa's struggle against apartheid. Just share with us or take us back to what became his role, because many, when during the days of apartheid spoke about Reverend JesseJackson, he was synonymous and was brought in with Martin Luther King. Just share with us his role during the struggle.
He was part of the anti-apartheid movement across the world, specifically focusing on the United States of America. He was always at those gatherings where those who were oppressed, who were in exile outside South Africa, were having activities in the United States of America. These are the people who supported the African National Congress, the Congress movement as we know it before 1994 and post-1994. We would recall that he supported the struggle of a Black majority in Africa. He was always sending statements, addressing gatherings to mobilize the international community to support the Black majority in South Africa who were oppressed. They were part of the anti-apartheid movement, a very powerful movement around the world, including in Europe, in other regions as well, in Latin America, but in America also. He was a member of the Black Caucus. Now, when you talk about the Black Caucus, these are people who belong to a struggle of Black people in the United States of America in particular. And therefore, the Black Caucus always, even now, they associate themselves with the struggles of South Africa in this day and age, the struggles such as addressing the injustices that we still experience in the country and the legacy of colonialism on the continent. I was at the African Union recently. One thing that the president of Ghana emphasized, and a resolution is going to present at the UN General Assembly in September, is this issue of reparation, paying Africa for the sins that many committed during colonialism. These are the people who would have supported that kind of a move. Yeah. But specifically for the African National Congress, he was always there. You'd see him in the archives we have here at the SABC, where we captured his life and time with Mandela, with many leaders of the ANC and the Congress movement. I spoke to him in 2012, when he came to South Africa. At that time, the African National Congress was celebrating its centenary, 100 years since it was established. I remember speaking to him at the airport in Bloemfontein, where he was very happy to see that for 100 years, the African National Congress was still there. And he reminisced on about the challenges of the time before the freedom was attained in 1994, and spoke about his continued quest to ensure that you continue to support the oppressed and the marginalized around the world. I think to think about Palestinians, he was very vocal in support of the Palestinians, and therefore he was a real friend of the African National Congress, always there, and the Black Caucus. You'd recall at some point in time when we spoke to the former South African President, Thabo Mbeki, when we were asking him about this frosty relationship between South Africa and America, he spoke about a need for the ANC and the current government and South Africans in general to reach out to their friends in America, because they had friends, even though the American system didn't support the freedom, but they had friends such as those in the Black Caucus. He was part of the friends of the ANC and South Africa within the Black Caucus.